Griffin the Griffin by BlackWing. Chapter 24. Arachnophobia. I sit in the darkness, black clouds swirling. No up, no down, nothing. Great, I'm dreaming. Let's see. In my thoughts I called up images, sights, sounds, maps, charts, chemical weapons designs, all the things I knew I had planned, all swirling around me before they disappeared. I saw a number of figures, my crew, then all at once they vanished. It was no longer empty, this void. It was filled with blood. A raging torrent of red so deep it was almost black that it swept me away, dragging me under as I gasped for air. I screamed, only to have the mouth filled with a sour taste. Gah! I woke with a start, sweating. It was a little after dawn. Nadine was up instantly, while Gilda and Trixie took a couple seconds, all entering a battle stance. They looked at me to see my eyes with bags under them, taking deep breaths. Whoa, hey, you look like shit, Gilda commented, noticing my hands shaking. She wrapped her arms around me to try and make me calm down. Once it had passed, I explained the dream and dismissed it as just that. I think we're just not getting enough sleep. If there was something in the rainwater, we'd all have it, and we've been eating the same things. This is why we need a doctor. Nadine, do you have a pick-me-up or something? Oh, yeah, sure. The cat reached into her pouch, removed a strange-looking blue liquid. Restores focus and makes it easier to concentrate for about an hour. We'll see if this is just a phase or something. Probably because you never sleep. Staying up late all night will do that to you. She passed me the vial of liquid. It's blue, restores focus and concentration. Basically a mana potion. I'm such a geek. Thanks for the concern, Mom, but I'm plenty used to lack of sleep. This is different, I replied as I downed the tonic. After a few minutes, I felt a lot better. Stuff really does the trick. Thanks, Nadine. Say, I forgot to ask. Do you have all the stuff you need to make more potions? Of course. She pulled out a mortar and pestle from her backpack and showed them off, as well as a kind of glass thing for mixing fluids in with solid ingredients. Looks kind of like a bong to my unknowing eyes. Good. We're probably going to need a lot more in the future. Looks like you get to make potions like your pappy wanted, and you get to have an adventure at the same time. Yeah, I don't mind making them as long as life isn't mundane. Alright, everyone. We know a number of ruins in this area. We're going to have to start checking them for loot. Once we get some wealth, we'll head west to the wastes and try to hire some mercs. Of course, we'll also have to be on the lookout for bounty hunters. No doubt there's an even higher price on our heads after the stunt we pulled in Wet Hoof, so we'll have to be on guard. Sounds good to me. They all nodded in agreement. Edge and Growl were to stay at camp because while they would be useful in the dark tombs for their eyesight, many of these temples were built by Nadine's people originally, and she was far more acrobatic and intelligent. I saw Rainbow's imagination when she was reading the book. I know it to be full of traps. Trixie was our torch and would, as usual, be riding on my back. It felt good to have her there again. Still don't know why being ridden is so comfortable. Oh, well. We approached one of the ruins, Nadine motioning for us to stop. She looked around, seeing the temple door open. She carefully put her leg in and touched a stone with her paw, causing an audible shing as several spikes popped from the ground right in front of us, then receded. The stones with the smooth textures are trapped. The rough ones are safe, she explained. Doors open, might have been raided. Won't know for sure unless we go all the way through, though. Pretty knowledgeable for someone who's never raided a ruin before, the cat stopped and remarked while checking the ground for something. What? It's just common sense. The door was open, so someone was there. And if we find a corpse, they died inside. If not, then they made it through. But even then, someone else could have gotten here afterwards. We won't know till we look. Yes, we will. Hoof prints, they're facing the exit, and they're hurried and labored. Looks like Daring hit this one first. Since she's still around, she made it out, and without a doubt, it's empty. Next! As the next one was a fair distance away, known as the Temple of the Hidden, Gilda airlifted the cat in the usual manner, still refusing to let herself be ridden. The next one was sealed shut. Nadine once again felt along the outer surface, looking for a hidden switch of some kind. She didn't find one. Great. Now how do we get in? Ahem. I cleared my throat, drawing Hades. She stepped out of the way as I slammed it into the crack between the doors, as I felt it cut through a locking mechanism, then crowbarred the stone doors open. I was met by stale, dusty air. Doors still locked, no ventilation, no marks in the thick dust on the ground. We're the first ones in here. Hope it's got something value. Nadine led, with me close behind, Trixie acting as a flashlight and Gilda taking up the rear. We didn't have weapons drawn, as there wouldn't be anything living in here, with myself as the exception. Hades serving as our shield against possible traps, and Mirror to make most of the limited light we had. Gilda looked like she was having a mini freak-out. Wonderful time for you to tell me you're claustrophobic. It just reminds me of the caves back when I was a slave. Griffins are not meant to be underground, she explained. We're still above ground, just indoors. Sing a song or something if it makes you feel any better. Her teeth and beak were chattering. I rolled my eyes as I began to sing softly for her. This is my escape. I'm running through this world and I'm not looking back. 'Cause I know I can go where no one's ever gone and I'm not looking back. But how will I know when to get there? And how will I know when to leave? We've all gotta start from somewhere, and it's right there for me. The possibilities are never ending. I see it, and now it's all within my reach, and those possibilities. I see it now, it's always been inside of me, and now I feel so free. Endless possibility. After I had finished the first verse, she seemed to have calmed down, so I stopped. She was walking a bit more closely to me now, obviously since I gave her comfort. See? That wasn't so hard now, was it? Besides, when we eventually raid the D-Dog holds, we will be underground. I can't have you spazzing out on... My paw suddenly felt a difference in the floor. It wasn't rough like the rest. It was smooth. I heard a click. Even in the dark, I could see Gilda's eyes widen. I dove at her, forcing her out of the way as a number of presumably poisonous darts whizzed through the air over our heads. Or at least they would have if Trixie hadn't caught hold of them on some force field, making them bounce off harmlessly. "What would you do without me?" she snickered. "Don't get ahead of yourself. Still, nice save. When'd you learn that one?" "Oh, a long time ago. It's not really a barrier as much as it is a constant explosion in a thin shell. After all, I used to perform flashy magic all the time. A small mistake could hurt. So eventually I made an explosion and held it in place to stop it from burning my face off. The constant high pressure made for a nice shield. It's not good versus high power hits or magic. They go right through it, but it's perfect for projectiles." She put a hoof to her chest. Well, well, taking a shortcut. Rather than learning a barrier spell, you combine two easier spells for the, albeit weaker, effect. Such ingenuity. Are you sure you're not a human? Yes, remind me when we get back to go over all of your talents. That one I definitely see coming in handy. Also, pick up these stars. I'm sure Nadine could use a blowgun. Pretty easy to make with a bamboo stalk. My unicorn rider laughed as the bright yellow dome surrounding us dissipated. It was really just an accident that let me discover it. She for once tried to brush off her excess instead of rolling in it like she normally would. Learning she is. My dear, some of the greatest inventions of my people came by complete accident, and the ones who discovered them were still hailed as geniuses. Having accidents more often, it lets you learn. Which is why pretty soon you'll outclass Twilight. She does everything so meticulously and with careful planning. It's great for adventures, but with experimentation, sometimes you just need to throw science, or in this case, magic, at the wall to see what sticks. You've pretty much mastered illusion. I think it's time you shifted your focus to combat magic, like that one. Just make sure you don't blow yourself, or more importantly, me up, okay? She giggled, and Gilda just looked at me strangely. Nadine whispered that we were in the main chamber. Thanks to her expertise, we had easily entered, avoiding almost all the traps. What have we here? A large chamber, the center of which held a fair amount of gold and silver items. No gems, save one. There was a pedestal in the center of the room, a small glowing blue gem suspended over it, set in a kind of amulet. Oh, and there were webs over everything. Now that we were in a more open area, Gilda was relaxed while I was near a nervous breakdown. Hey, you know how you're afraid of enclosed areas? Yeah, I'm afraid of spiders. Seriously? I'm fine with snakes. I could climb right in a tub full of them, but I can't stand spiders. As I looked, I noticed there were indeed spiders crawling through the webs. Thousands of them. I think I'm gonna puke. Just calm down, close your eyes, take a deep breath, Griff. Gilda was now trying to help me keep my cool. This is a problem, though. We can't get through the webs without cutting them, and that would make the spiders come to us. Captain, do you have any idea? Hey, dumbass! Nadine, for some reason, it had what it took to snap me out of it. Huh? The webs. How do we get through? Then I got a sly grin. As much as I hate spiders, I love burning them. Tricks! Torch this shit! Nadine jumped out of the way. With pleasure! A spout of red and orange flame came from her horn, spewing and spreading fire all over the place. It wasn't hot, it was by no means an intense flame, but it went everywhere. What did you expect from a pony who up till now was constantly giving off a lot of light without trying to hurt anything? It was, however, more than enough to set the webs ablaze, and boy did they burn! The spiders were turned into crispy bacon bits you get with salads. Well, you didn't know that's what they really were? We all moved back to around the corner to avoid the heat, and also prevent ourselves from getting sucked in by the sudden gust coming through. The fire was sucking air, making the hall into a wind tunnel. We all held our breath. After all, several thousands of years of dust would be coming with it. But eventually it passed, and fresh air filled the once musty halls. Anyone else wondering where the smoke went? Maybe it rose and it's trapped in the dome? The Catwoman suggested. Want to look? Nadine looked around the corner and entered the large chamber, spotting the still smoldering webs at the ceiling. Sunlight was starting to pour in. She motioned for us all to enter, as it was safe, and we did. Well, look at that. Damn spiders webbed up the place so much it stopped the airflow. Industrious little bastards. Glad they're all gone. I was interrupted by a roar and some chittering. Of course, we solved the puzzle and reached the end, and now we have to fight a boss. Fucking Zelda. Alright, where is it? I drew Hades. Also, I suddenly felt lighter. I soon found out why. I was being lifted into the air somehow. Trixie, light, 12 o'clock! She followed my command, and I froze. The biggest fucking spider in the damn world was pulling me up by a strand of web. It had fangs the length of my sword, and behind them, a circular mouth lined with teeth, like leeches in horror movies. It made a sound that made me think like a zergling. Holy shit! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it with fire! Shoot it! I don't care! I am let's fucking kill it! I said in a whining tone before we could act. Trixie and I found ourselves wrapped in very thick webbing. Fangs protruded from the cocoon, luckily blocked by my sword, else I would have been a very, very bad day. A red liquid filled the bottom of the sack. Thankfully that instead of me, we were left to dangle. I couldn't hear what was going on outside, and it was getting difficult to breathe. I had no room to swing my sword, and my claws just stuck in the webbing. Trixie, my fire maker, had passed out, and I soon followed. My last words before I fell asleep was, I don't get paid enough for this shit. When I woke up, there was a nice fire going, made of spider corpse. It smelled something awful, but it was warm. Damn spiders. There's always fucking spiders. Nice of you to wake up. Nadine welcomed me back to consciousness. Fucking spider. Burn, you bastard. All your babies are dead. I said with a very soft laugh. The laugh of someone whose mind is breaking. Not all of them. Looks like you got a new friend, Griff, Gilda said. My eyes went wide as dinner places. I began rolling around and frantically trying to get the spider I couldn't see off me. Dad! Trixie, light me on fire, quick! Yeah! I didn't want to dive into the fire corpse, but as it was still a spider, she just laughed. Oh, relax, will you? They're all dead. Gilda finally admitted to her lie. My crew still laughing. Not funny, I scowled. Oh, yes, it was. Hey, there's just some shit you don't joke about. Oh, fine, spoil sport, they pouted. How'd you kill it anyway? Well, it tried grabbing us with webs, but we kept avoiding them. So eventually it came back down here to get us. Nadine stabbed it in the abdomen, and while it was distracted, I shot a thermite arrow in its mouth. It got cooked from the inside out, and that's what set it on fire. Then I used some of the molding stuff to burn the bottom out of the web sack and pulled you two out. Good thing we were prepared then. You like that, you bitch? You like my science? Oh, you can't talk 'cause you're fucking dead! I proceeded to have a small session of maniacal laughter, wallowing on about how you never mess with a human or a pissed-off Griffin, and how he had done both. After I'd finally calmed down, we ate some of the food we had brought with us, and now that all 8 legs were dead, I finally relaxed. Okay, so we killed Spiderzilla, so the thing that was guarding is most likely to be damn important. No way something like that gets in here on accident, other than a load of gold or silver, and then there's that gloating gem amulet thing. It wasn't floating anymore, it was just sitting on the pedestal. Now that I think about it, it was probably being held there by one of Spiderzilla's webs. Yep, definitely guarding it. Well, since it was floating and now it no longer is, the pedestal itself isn't trapped, although there may be a pressure pad on the floor near it. I think the first order of business is to take all the less valuable things and bring them to the door. We can't fly it all back, so we'll take as much as we can in the first load while Nadine stays at the entrance with Trixie. Then we drop it off at the camp and then come back for more. I'll have the dogs build a storage hut, and then we can hide it all of it till we find a way to exchange it. Maybe we can trade with some of the other tribes for stuff? After taking all the gold and silver to the entrance, careful to avoid the traps, Gilda and I flew the first load home to find that Etch and Growl were arguing with each other about something. They were in a full-out fist fight, complete with biting and scratching, and was definitely not sparring. What the hell is the matter with you two? I dropped the gold and punched both of them in the back of the head. They both looked surprised to see me. Mind telling me what this is all about? They seemed nervous, as though they were praying for the other that wouldn't rat them out.
It was...
Etch began. Don't even think about lying to me.
We found letters,
Growl answered. Letters?
Letters to Princess.
It's not polite to go through other people's mail, you know.
You are working for Pony Princess,
Growl accused.
Is not...
Am not, I added.
Then why?
I face-palmed. You've got to be kidding me. Because I'm a jerk and I like making fun of them. All you read was who it was addressed to? If you're gonna do something wrong, at least do it the right way. These letters are designed to confuse and humiliate. I'm not working for Celestia and Luna. I'm spitting on them. Besides, even if I was, what difference does it make?
If you were working for ponies, you would abandon us. Soon as ordered, you would give up on freeing home, and all would be wasted.
The larger of the two reasoned.
He saved us from slavery. He would never abandon us. He trusts us. He made us family.
The smaller defended. You got that right, Echo. We are a family, and I would dive headfirst into Tartarus for any of you. You heard my stories, didn't you? I know you did, Etch, because I saw you crying afterward. The dog looked away ashamed. Hey, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It just means you care. But yeah, you guys are the first friends I've ever had. I'm not going to give up on any of you just because some pony tells me to. Growl, you ought to have more faith. Now make up, you two. I got a job for you. They begrudgingly shook paws, and I told them that when Nadine got back, I'd have her fix them up. And then I said what I needed of them. I explained that I needed a place to hide the loot, or rather than building a shack, they did what they do best. They dug a hole and made a cover for it. After telling them good work and to take the rest of the day off to sort themselves out, I flew back with the temple with Gilda, who had already made 2 trips while I oversaw the pit construction.
So you sorted them out?
She asked. Yeah, they thought I was working for Celestia. Well, actually, Growl did. Etch fought tooth and nail to defend my name.
A diamond dog with honor? Well, that's new. I mean, yeah, okay, so Echo, but he's not really a D-dog.
Yeah.
Is it true? You know, about us being family?
Every word. I didn't really have a family before, so I don't know for sure, but this is what I think it feels like. Those 2 are brothers now, and of course brothers fight. I just needed to straighten them out. After another load each, all the loot, save the amulet, was still present, and had been removed from the temple. It was a fairly large haul, although we couldn't exactly exchange it, seeing as how we were wanted. We'd have to go find another tribe first, making our way back to the temple. I carefully approached the amulet. The 3 of us stood right next to it, so it clearly wasn't trapped. Okay, so no traps. The guardian is dead. Just take it and go, right? Nadine asked. I don't know. I mean, who knows what this does? It must be important if it was guarded by something like that.
Oh, quit being such babies.
Gilda snatched the amulet from its resting place while the cat and I closed our eyes awaiting the worst. Nothing happened.
See? No problem. Now let's get out of here.
We left the temple and returned to camp. It was now nightfall, so we prepared something to eat by a fire and at the base of the camp. Arms and armor removed and left up top for comfort. Hey, Gilda, can I see that amulet for a sec?
Sure, it doesn't look like it was worth the extra trip to get it.
She replied as she passed it over to me. I turned the back face towards the fire, seeing that it had the words Form of Verses written on top, and Reverti along the bottom. It looks like Latin. Of course, in myth, Latin was always considered to hold power. My guess is you wear the amulet and say the words, then the magic happens.
Well, Mr. Language Expert, you want to give it a go?
Gilda mocked. I put the necklace on, said Form of Verses, and Trixie's illusion spell she was practicing shattered. Forma versus. Forma means form. Versus. Against? Against form? No. Versus. Verdad? True? True form? So it dispels. Oh, it dispels illusions! I took the necklace off and gave it to Trixie. I wonder if it dispels the illusions on the one who's wearing it. If it does, this thing could be more trouble than it's worth considering we need the lies and trickery. Try it again, Trix. She began calling on an illusion again, making herself invisible. Forma verses! We heard echo through the air. Trixie remaining cloaked. Well, that's good. It removes illusions, but protects the wearer from itself. That's... And then I passed out again. Dear Princess Celestia, is your horn hard? Sincerely, Trixie.